The Jubilee Project offers free debt and benefits advice across 4 locations in the city each week. We primarily operate within our partner churches' coffee morning settings, so the environment's really relaxed and informal. We look to address the financial poverty that we see, but also the spiritual poverty that we so often see amongst people that come to see us. We have completed over 2,000 appointments, which is much higher than we have seen previously. We've also written off more debt than we've ever before. Last year that figure was 1.4 million, which is 43% increase on last year. So we're expecting that to increase. We are motivated to keep going and to keep pressing on to make sure that people don't buckle under that awful burden of debt. And we have a holistic approach within our clinics where our fantastic volunteers will get alongside people and talk to them about Jesus and talk to them about the gospel, which is so important in helping them get back on their feet. We've recently moved our warehouse to our premises on 10 Normanton Road. We've done this with the help of a team of volunteers and our food coordinator, Ali Pavlovich. So far this year, we have distributed 850 parcels and saw an increase of 180% during the recent pandemic. We wanted to thank everybody who's donated to us to make that possible. During this pandemic, we've been here, we've been able to support people, giving them food parcels when they've needed food, and we've been able to offer people debt and benefits advice. We've also been at the end of the phone for those people who've been feeling a bit low or lonely. It's widely understood that some of the legacies of the coronavirus will be people having problems with their mental health, high numbers of unemployment, and people in more and more debt than we've seen before. Our Jubilee Project will continue to help those people in debt, and we're about to launch 2 new projects to help with mental health and employment. Our employability programme and befriending programme both start in the autumn.
Safe Space is a project that Derby City Mission have been running since March 2019. It's a project where we are looking to help and support some of the hardest to help people, entrenched, homeless, rough sleepers who it's difficult to find them a solution. And so Safe Space is a place where they can come, where they can be safe, where they can be looked after, and where we're able to help them. At the beginning of our project, we used to run out of our offices in Charnwood Street. And we've been doing that for the last year. And then in March this year, as I'm sure we're all aware, coronavirus arrived. And it became very apparent that there were a lot more homeless people who needed help. And so a decision was made to close Safe Space, to enable my staff here, along with many other agencies and organisations, to go and open a hotel on Pride Park where we could invite in far more people to help, actually just over 140 over the few months when lockdown was in place, who otherwise would have slept on the streets of Derby, and it was great to be part of that project. And then June this year we've arrived here. This is Safe Space now at 10 Normanton Road, a much better facility, much more purpose built for what we're trying to do. But sadly coronavirus is still with us, and so we have a limited service still, but we're trying to do the best we can to give hope to people, to create a safe place while we're trying to help them and support them. And that's what we're about, and to show the love of Jesus to people who very rarely receive love from people. And Derby City Mission and Safe Space are fully committed in the future for all that God has for these people. We're committed to the entrenched homeless of our city, to see the eradication of extreme poverty and to see what God has for these people, to give them that hope, to give them that purpose, and to see great things in their lives, and to see Derby City Mission play that part in our city, to see Jesus shared with these individuals.
Last winter, Derby City Mission ran 3 night shelters in Derby, Chesterfield and Mansfield. The night shelters, hosted by local churches, provided a warm, safe place to stay for the homeless in those locations. In Derby, 263 guests stayed overnight and were served an evening meal and breakfast by nearly 300 volunteers. We'd like to say a huge thank you to each of those volunteers, because without you, we couldn't open. Calm and peaceful evenings were experienced up until the end of March, when we had to close a week early due to the COVID pandemic. Working with the local authority, all guests were offered an alternative place to stay during the lockdown. Unfortunately, Due to government restrictions, we aren't able to go ahead with Nightshelter this coming winter. However, this is a temporary pause and we will be providing Nightshelter in the future when it's safe to do so. We are still committed to helping the homeless in Derbyshire and will be reaching out to offer support and friendship with our new befriending project. We also want to outreach to this community and demonstrate God's love and bring hope to those who are most in need.
Derby Streetpass are a team of 50 volunteers who for the past 11 years have been taking the presence of Jesus into the nighttime economy on a Friday and a Saturday night. The past 12 months can be summarised in 4 words: celebration, collaboration, coronavirus and change. 2019 was a year when we celebrated 10 years of Streetpass. Streetpass is also built on collaboration with the other organisations, and in October we were honoured to serve as stewards for the Knife Angel in October. This was an awesome and haunting sculpture that brought home the thousands of visitors the horrors of knife crime in our society. In March, the onset of the coronavirus pandemic meant that we had to suspend Streetpass operation as the nation went into lockdown. Like with many organisations, with Streetpass not operating, Shirley, our administrator, was placed on furlough, and we are delighted now to report back that as of the 4th of July, we are now back out on the streets doing what we love, listening, caring and helping. However, this has meant that we've had to change our operating procedures to make sure that both the team and the public are kept as safe as possible. The last couple of months have seen other changes take place as we've moved our administrative operations into a new office at 10 Normanton Road, and our weekend operations have relocated to the new URC building at Stewart House. These changes have brought many challenges as we will need to recruit and train new team members next spring, which will be difficult with many churches not fully opening in the foreseeable future. In the meantime, we are currently seeking to launch school and college pastors to provide welfare support and a listening ear to secondary schools. So to close, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to all of our volunteers who give of themselves to Christ on the streets.